For random shits and giggles, this thing is going in the 302 video possibly.
Yeah.
So this is Derek's Dodge here. It's a 2005 3/4 ton with the diesel 4-wheel drive. So due to Rock Auto being a lot cheaper than our parts guys up here, Derek, one ball joint was bad. So we elected on Saturday to bring it to work here because it's warm, do the ball joints. Not a problem. So we get the one ball joint, and we're just looking. One we had to cut, not a big deal. But see a problem here, that was resealed. Someone went to the work to reseal this. Keep this in mind. That is not, even though, go put it in, it's the wrong ball joint. That's what it's supposed to look like. But someone went to the work to grind it, found it wouldn't fit, I guess. And then they got the proper ball joint. They put in the part numbers right, but they went to the work to actually reseal the damn thing. So I don't know if it's worthwhile to send it back to Rock Auto or not. Probably the hassle. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But yeah, they actually resealed the plastic and put a used, or it is new. They just, it wouldn't fit their application. I don't know why the hell they ground it like that. But so, anyways.
I got it.
Anyway, guys, hope you like this video. 302. Or whatever. Oh, Kevin's Ranchero.
Kevin, right? And I bought lifters. Lifters up here, folks. We're gonna get lifted off of Rock Auto, but the same thing. Just bought them. They're like $9 a lifter now. That was a Seal Power lifter.
They don't collapse like the ones in there.
That's what me and Rick were talking about. They had lots of problems there. So sometimes Rock Auto isn't all what it made up to be, especially if you're in a rush to do something on the weekend. It's like wah wah wah. Anyways,
welcome back for another episode of Penny's Hot Rod and Custom. Working by myself again today. Chris is ill, and Cody's working on his Henry J. Kevin don't know. Ryan have no idea. So before we get into it, this is Kevin 302 that come out of his Ranchero. When we got the Ranchero out of a friend's shop, it sat for, I know, over 10 years. But he drove the car in. But I guess the car sat along for a while, and the motor was stuck. So when we dragged it back to Kevin's place, we pushed the car around or dragged it on. We couldn't get the engine to turn over just by let go on the clutch. And it gauged itself and couldn't get it to turn over. So that's when I believe Kevin and his kid, they pulled the motor out. And Kevin moved into his garage, and I think we tried to turn it with a wrecking bar with the flywheel. We tried to turn it over. Still couldn't turn it over. So that's when we saw something stuck in this thing severely. So we pulled the head off and then tapped the piston a couple of times. Sure enough, it turned over. So, okay. So from what we were told, this engine didn't have a heck of a lot of miles on it. The guy drove it for I don't know how many years, but from what he's saying, the bores are actually not too bad a shape. Just a little bit of surface rust, just because it's been sitting all summer. But what I'm going to do is pull the crank out, pull the pistons out, and just hopefully, if the bearings, everything's good, we'll just put it all back in the same way. Just give it a good cleaning and put it back. I will give it a quick little honing since I got it apart. And inspect to make sure all the rings are free. Put all the pistons back in the same order. I think the only modification we're going to do is putting in a different camshaft. And of course, lifters. A timing chain, and also a new oil pump, just to be on the safe side. And we'll go through the block to kind of clean everything out best as we can. Like I say, this was a running engine when the guy drove the car into the shop, and it sat in the shop for, I know, over 10 years. So I think it was in the springtime. I rebuilt the heads already. I just took them apart, gave all the valves a lapping job, put them back. Everything was good. The valve guides were good. Just put new valve seals in it. Put it back together, so the heads are all done. So now I guess just to tackle on the block. So I'm hoping, there's a big if I get the block back together, Kevin will work on his car. Don't know. But at least this part will be done. And we will break it into, since we have a new cam going in this. So I guess we'll get started by ripping the engine apart. And hopefully I can entertain you guys for a bit. There we go. Alright, we got the water pump off. We'll clean them up and give a little bit of a paint job. Make them look pretty again. And now, pull the cover off the pulley. Okay. And now we'll. I can't get it out. I'll go find some. Pull the big bolt out for the dampener, and then I'll have to find where my puller is. What size it is? There it is. Okay, I'm pulling the puller off, or taking the harmonic balancer off. This is the puller. It'll work for this. I think maybe we'll just use a wrench just to be on the safe side. Oh, that's not the right size. Okay. Oh, this one's coming off really easy. I've had some where you had to fight. Oh. Wow. That was an easy one. Okay. I'll just put that down. And I guess we'll continue pulling all that timing chain cover off. Over. And then I have two bolts up here. I'll have to use a wrench if I can't get the socket through. Okay, I dropped the oil pan. That's fine. I believe we had the oil pan off this before, just to make sure there wasn't anything broken in the bottom end when it was stuck. And I couldn't see anything bad underneath there. So that's why the oil pump's still loose. And we're putting another oil pump in just to be on the safe side. And I tend to believe the guy because the timing chain's not really that worn. I've seen them worse than that, so. Alright, let's see if we can pull this off. Yeah. And cam lobes don't really look that bad. Like I say, I tend to believe the guy didn't have that many miles on it. I believe he had it restored, painted, and someone did kind of a crappy paint job on it, so he took it to another guy to fix it. He started working on it, and then there ended up there was some family problems, and it just got forgotten about it. So then we were able, or Kevin was able, he was lucky to be able to buy the car, so that's how we ended up with it. But we have a new cam for it. I'm not going to bust this, but we do have another one for it. Looking inside of it, the cam bearings look pretty good shape on the first one. Oh yeah. It's not a big deal to change cam bearings. I've done that a couple times, so and we have the tool for doing it. Just a lot of work, because I believe I made a homemade puller, but each one's actually a different size, so I guess we'll flip the motor around and take the crank out, or start pulling the pistons out. I'll number them right to the block. I want everything to go back the same way. Okay, just to be on the safe side, I just marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how their 302 is listed, and that's how the crankshaft, someone pinned the markings on, numbered it their way. So I'll, like I said, I want this block put back together the way it came apart. And if you can look up in those cylinders, you can still see all the marks. That's good. So I've been kind of looking around all the other cylinders. They all look pretty good. So okay, take it apart and give it a good cleaning, and hopefully the motor lasts for a long time for Kevin. That's the plan, as long as you get the car back together. Alright, so I guess I'll set this up and then we'll start pulling pistons out. Yeah, just put some real clean paper on a little table here, because I want this back together in the next day or two, so we want to keep it clean as possible. Alright, we'll start pulling them out. I'm taking the piston out. Which one? Like, I'll get the proper cleaner and that, but you can actually see these bearings are actually, that one's actually not bad shape at all. So, like I said, we knew the fellow that had this car, and he told the history on it. If I didn't know the history on it, then it'd be a different story. I'll put this down. And another thing is very important, make sure you put it back the same way, direction. I know all my numbers were all facing in, so, because you don't want to put the piston backwards, because it's not suited for that, so. I just take my time. In this case, this notch here all comes to the front. I'm not going to get too detailed on it, because there's a million different videos on 302s, so. But from what I see, the rings don't seem bad or anything. I mean, the pistons don't, well, my hands are dirty, but they're not all marked up, so. Like I said, we'll go through it and clean it up. I'm not going to record everything, so that's going to get pretty boring for you guys, so. I'm just showing you the first one, how I'm taking it apart, and then, I guess after I get all the pistons out, then we'll do the crankshaft. Okay, I got one side out, one whole side right out. And you can still see all the marks in the cylinder walls. I'm pretty happy for what I'm seeing still. And I'll show you later, but the bearings all look pretty good too. So you can, I wouldn't say there's that many miles on this engine. So it'll do good for a long time for Kevin. For what he wants. He gets 50,000 miles out of it. He's doing good. I gotta take a break for a minute. I split my thumb open, so keep bleeding all over the place. Then I'll flip the block over the other side and do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll pull the crank out. Alright, I got all the pistons out. I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far. And now, well, you see I turned the block. Now I'm going to pull off all the main. Then I'll pull the crank out. I want to, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to measure everything. But I have a sneaky suspicion everything's going to be fine. But I'm just curious, just for my own peace of mind. Like I say, the camshaft bearings in nice shape. So far from what I've seen, the crank looks very nice shape. The cylinder walls are pretty damn good shape. I'm just going to give it maybe a very quick honing job. Just touch it up a bit. I don't want to take any materials out for the size. Just to clean it up just a little bit. I'll put all my main caps in order. Lucky they're all numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Facing towards the front of the engine. There's your arrow. So we're getting there. And if after I got the crank done out, that will give it just a little quick hone. And then I don't know if I'm strong enough to throw this in the truck, but take it to the car wash, give it a good cleaning. I'd like to clean out all the water passages, and if I can see there's a bit of crud in it. Just give the block a good cleaning before we put it back together. Like I said, I don't have any problem with this thing till a long time, hopefully. I used my mic, and I measured everything, and it's all 2.123, which is worked out to be for 2 1/8. Yeah, but you want 2 thou clearance, which is 2 thou clearance. This crank is in very nice shape, very nice. So I don't feel like pulling the crankshaft out tonight, just because I don't want it to fall over. It's getting late, probably about 1 o'clock in the morning right now, so I'll pull the crank out tomorrow, and then we'll measure the mains, all of them. And then after, if that's all perfect, then I don't know. Then we'll go hone the block out and start cleaning it up and put it back together. I'm not going to go too crazy measuring things, but everything seems to be very good. I will do, when the final torquing on the main, and maybe a couple connector rods, I'll get some plastic gauge and see if what the numbers are. But we should have about 2 thou clearance for each rod. I'm reading up right now, so like I said, I'm very happy what I'm seeing. This block is definitely being rebuilt or whatever, or low miles. So alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.